of 100. The rule of 100 states that whatever it is that you are doing, and this is especially true for creators, but I think it's also true for a lot of other areas. But whatever it is that you're doing, can you do it 100 times before giving it up? Before saying, oh, no one likes this, it's not getting traction, it's not working. Can you do it 100 times? Now, we are about a year into this podcast, almost a year into the version of this podcast you are listening to, the Art and Business of Meditation podcast. It started as the Awakening to Purpose podcast, but I have been releasing weekly episodes for about a year now. So that's about 52 weekly episodes. And it's been so fun, and it kind of blows my mind because it hasn't felt like a slog at all. It's been really, really fun to do. Now, I don't look a lot at my numbers. I probably should look more, but part of me is thinking about the rule of 100 and just saying, Lou, you know what? At this point, it doesn't even matter. Looking at your numbers is not what you need to do right now. You need to keep showing up each week until you hit 100 podcast episodes. And so that's what I'm focused on here, because what happens as you hit 100 is so many things. You build an energy that starts to compound. This is how I grew on the app Insight Timer. In 2018, I had about, maybe 15 or 20 tracks already on Insight Timer. I was slowly growing, but it was 2018 that I decided that I was going to upload one meditation a week, that I was actually going to commit to a process, to a practice. And they expected a meditation a week. It was a lot different back then than it is now. They were actually wanting to publish my meditation on every Thursday. And so that was my accountability that I needed to show up there week after week after week. And I was able to create hundreds now of meditations and pieces of content for that app that has allowed the opening to grow to maybe while you're listening to this. You might also be listening to this from finding me in other places, but it's a good portion of how people find me. And if you're not listening to from this app, there's other apps that I know people find me on. And so it's been through the rule of 100 that I found my path, and it opened the doorways for me. So if it's something that you really care about, can you do it 100 times? And the benefit is not simply, okay, if I do it 100 times, then I'm going to have 100,000 followers. It's not like a direct recipe to getting a big following, although it could happen. But a huge benefit is the growth that comes from doing anything over and over again, that I will guarantee you the 100th thing you create is probably going to be better than the first. I look back at some of my old meditations and I cringe because they were unedited and my tongue and my lips were smacking. And there was even times when I was just winging it. And I think people could feel me winging it. Now, I know a lot of meditation teachers that do their meditations, quote unquote, winging it. And that's great. I don't do that as much anymore. I definitely know where I'm going. But I look back and like, wow, I can't believe that that was the meditations I was creating. But the thing is, I needed to create those meditations to get to the meditations and the courses that I can create now. You have to go through the quote unquote bad writing to get to the good writing. And that's not to say those meditations aren't valuable and that they're still, some of my more successful meditations. And it's funny to think about that because, we always judge our work worse than anyone else. And so I bet even your early things aren't going to be so bad. But having this mindset, again, it gets us out of thinking we need to succeed in the next 3 months. We need to have it all figured out. We need to have everything perfect. And instead, it goes and allows us to just keep creating, keep focusing on the process, because the process is the thing that is fulfilling. I know I said this a lot last week, so if you haven't listened to that episode, go check it out. And there's a classic story, you might have heard it before, of the study of the professor who gives a class 30 days to create 30 pieces of art, and he gives another class 30 days to create one piece of art. And by far, there was more quality pieces of art that came from the students who had to do 30 because they just kept practicing, they kept getting experience, than the group that sweated over, I need to get this one ideal piece of art in 30 days. So sometimes it is important to just get the reps in. I know we talk about quality over quantity, but sometimes we have to start with quantity to get to quality, because that is how we are going to improve. That is how we grow in our skill set and our experience. So this is my call, my invitation to you is to pick a thing, pick something. What would you do for 100 times? Is it 100 videos? Is it 100 paintings? Is it 100 classes, 100 meditations, 100 coaching sessions, 100 discovery calls, 100 something, right? Where you continue to stop saying, hey, this isn't working. Don't say this isn't working until you've done it 100 times. Now, listen, I'm going to plead the fifth here. I don't even actually know what that means, but I'm going to plead the fifth. I think it means maybe like you don't have to speak. Anyway, you guys can send me a note and remind me what plead the fifth actually means. I have not always done this. I have definitely started things that I haven't committed to, but there wasn't a lot of fire. It's like, okay, I'm going to get really committed to Instagram. And then I just realized, you know what? It's not where my place lies. It's not that I wasn't getting traction here or there. It's just like, doesn't feel it. For me, I'd rather be on email. I'd rather create 100 blog posts, 100 articles, 100 emails, 100 meditations. So find the thing that you will struggle for and struggle through. And then in your mind, maybe you don't make this hard commitment, I need to show up every week, but at least give yourself the grace that, okay, I need to do this 100 times before I assess it. Before I say, this doesn't work, I suck, I'm not good at this, to give it 100 times. The rule of 100. I'd love to hear what this could be like for you. And some of this is actually inspired currently in Moroi Mastermind, the group that I have for spiritual entrepreneurs. We are doing a creativity challenge where I'm having people either create or publish. The challenge is a 20 and 30. So to do it 20 days within 30 days of at least publishing or creating during that time. And so this was kind of inspired by that. And it often helps us to have some kind of community to keep us accountable, to allow us the energy to create and to brainstorm ideas with. And so if you are on this path of creation, if you are doing something 100 times, whether that be meditation, video, blog, etc., and you are the only one you know doing it, please reach out to me. I'd love to invite you to be part of the Moroi Mastermind. It is so powerful to not have to do it alone, to see other people like you doing the thing, to support other people like you, to be supported by other people like you. And yes, to have me give whatever I have learned, whatever mentorship, or advice or coaching that I could offer that might be supportive. And that's a part of the mastermind, of course. And really the juice is in the community and the energy that happens in the group. So the doors will open May 1st. And if this calls to you and you want to be a part of, shoot me an email, and I'd love to chat more and hear about what you're up to in the world. That is all for today, friends. Thanks for listening. I hope you get out there and do your 100, create, write, script, and know that I am rooting for you, and this podcast exists to support that path. Maybe if you're not in the space to join a group. So I hope this podcast continues to serve. It is a gift to be able to share with you. I am deeply grateful for this opportunity and for your time and attention. And I will see you next week. And before you take off, if you like this episode or like this podcast, please consider taking a moment to leave a review. It really helps the podcast grow. And if you are someone wanting to use meditation to share your gifts, I have a free course called Meditation Script Mastery. You can click the link in the podcast description and get you set up with learning how to create unique meditations that you can share with your students, your clients, and you can share with your friends. So thanks again for listening, and I'll see you next time.
I'll beat my drum for you, I'll sing my song for you, I'll clap my hands to the beat that transforms into. I'll beat my drum for you, I'll sing my song for you, I'll clap my hands to the beat that transforms into.
The music you heard is a song called Nova by River Roots. Thank you so much for listening.